영원한 날에 영생의 이상향을 나타내도다. 오내 양육 대주와 천주까지도 억만세 태평성대 기린내세 오기 전에도 사대전 휘날리는 천일국 깃발 천지의 창조모님 소망하도다. 오내 양육 대주와 천주까지도 억만세 태평성대 기린내세 행복천일로.
Today is the 24th day of the 9th month in the 9th year of Channel Group, October 29, 2021. To begin our day, let's offer our respect and gratitude to our Heavenly Parent and true parents of heaven, earth, and all humankind. 천진 참 부모님께 경배. 바로 let us recite 가정맹세.
가정맹세 1. 천일국 주인 우리 가정은 참 사랑을 중심하고 본향 땅을 찾아 본연의 창조 이상인 지상 천국과 천상 천국을 창건할 것을 맹세하나이다. 2. 천일국 주인 우리 가정은 참 사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님과 참 부모님을 모시어 천주의 대표적 가정이 되며 중심적 가정이 되어 가정에서는 효자, 국가에서는 충신, 세계에서는 성인, 천주에서는 성자의 가정의 도리를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 3. 천일국 주인 우리 가정은 참 사랑을 중심하고 4대 심정권과 3대 왕권과 황족권을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 4. 천일국 주인 우리 가정은 참 사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님의 창조 이상인 천주 대가족을 형성하여 자유와 평화와 통일과 행복의 세계를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 5. 천일국 주인 우리 가정은 참 사랑을 중심하고 매일 주체적 천상세계와 대상적 지상세계의 통일을 향해 전진적 발전을 촉진화할 것을 맹세하나이다. 6. 천일국 주인 우리 가정은 참 사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님과 참 부모님의 대신 가정으로서 천운을 움직이는 가정이 되어 하늘의 축복을 주변에 연결시키는 가정을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 7. 천일국 주인 우리 가정은 참 사랑을 중심하고 본연의 혈통과 연결된 위하는 생활을 통하여 심정 문화 세계를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 8. 천일국 주인 우리 가정은 참 사랑을 중심하고 천일국 시대를 맞이하여 절대신앙, 절대사랑, 절대복종으로 신인의 일체 이상을 이루어 지상천국과 천상천국의 해방권과 석방권을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다.
To lead us in our opening prayer, may I call on our Regional Director of Central Visayas, Reverend Cesar Juanillo.
Please join me in prayer. Let us bow our head and let us close our eyes and let us feel the presence of our Heavenly Parent. Let us pray. 사랑하시는 하늘 부모님, 존귀인 참 부모님, 사랑합니다. 감사합니다. Good morning to your most beloved Heavenly Parent and our victorious true parents of heaven, earth, and humankind. Today is the 24th day of the 9th month by the heavenly calendar, 9th year of Chon El Guk, October 29, 2021. We gathered together, Heavenly Parent, in this Zoom, together with all our leaders, blessed central families and brothers and sisters in the Philippines and all over the world, Heavenly Parent, in order to attend you this morning, to receive your words and inspiration and guidance in order for our spirit self to grow together to become one with you. Beloved Heavenly Parent, we express our gratitude for all the blessings that you have bestowed upon us, especially for the gift of life. And we pray, Heavenly Parent, for our beloved true mother, for the good health and protection and long life of our true mother. And also we pray for all our leaders, our blessed families and brothers and sisters throughout the world, especially those who are in sickness, Heavenly Parent. And may that we can overcome all the crisis and all the struggles that we face, Heavenly Parent. And may that we can become more stronger so that we can be able, Heavenly Parent, give you, Father, joy and happiness. And we pray, Father, for today morning devotion headed by our national leader, Reverend Leo Angilohalog, Father. Please use him to be your mouthpiece to convey your hearts and convey your will and your providence so that all of us can truly be able, Heavenly Parent, be updated always and attuned to your providence so that, Father, we can align ourselves and to really march forward and determine to really bring victory together with our Father. All absolute good ancestors in the spiritual world could truly also help and to really help our true mother, especially for the unification of North and South Korean Peninsula and for the establishment of the unified world. Beloved Heavenly Parent, this morning devotion, may that all of us can connect our hearts together, Father, so that we can really be able, Father, receive your love and receive your guidance so that we can purify again ourselves and to really go back to Father, to the spirit that can really, like our true parents' spirit, that all of us have this burning desire to really offer this nation to you, Heavenly Parent, and for the world. Thank you, Father, for everything, for your love and guidance and all the blessings. All of these we offer together, and I report in our name, Cesar and Eugenia, one from the Blessed Central family. Achu.
Achu. Let's have our unison prayer. Jack. Good morning, Heavenly Parents and True Parents. Good morning, leaders, Chonbo families, blessed families, elders, brothers, and sisters. Good morning. I hope nakatulog po kayo na maayos and everything is well on your end. So to continue our morning devotion, may I call Miss Judy Lee Lumod, our center leader here in Bohol, to read us the Hundok reading.
Good morning, leaders, elders, brothers, and sisters. Our reading is taken from the book, The Mother of Peace, a Memoir by Hakjahan Moon. Chapter 3, The Marriage Supper of the Lamb. At 10 that evening, Mrs. O was making her way home after finishing her work. She was on the Noryangjin bus as it was crossing the Han River when God spoke to her. It will be Hakja. It will be Hakja. God's revelation descended upon Mrs. O like a wave of energy in the autumn night sky. She arrived in her neighborhood around 11 p.m., but instead of going home, she hurried to see my mother, who lived near her. Sun-e, are you sleeping? Not yet, come in. How old is your daughter? My mother gave her a puzzled look. Mrs. O had skipped all formalities and asked a point-blank question. Why are you visiting me in the middle of the night to ask me how old my daughter is? Don't change the subject. Please just tell me. She's 16, turning 17 next year. When is her birthday? She was born in 1943 on the 6th day of the first lunar month. She has the same birthday as our master. Why are you suddenly asking me such questions? Mrs. O and my mother were old friends. They were the same age, and they had attended the same church in their hometown in North Korea. In addition, their mothers were very close friends. My mother, in fact, was living in Noryangjin, across the street from Mrs. O. Mrs. O had found this place for my mother when she had fallen into poor health while doing her church work. Just as abruptly as she had arrived, Mrs. O bid my mother good night and departed, leaving my mother to figure out what was on her mind. The next day, as soon as it became light, Mrs. O was on her way back to work at the Nakwon building. God's revelation about me completely distracted her, and the workday came and went without her realizing what she was doing. When she finished her work, she went directly to see a fortune teller. To this day, Koreans often consult fortune tellers for guidance about marriage, and that's what Mrs. O did. She described to the fortune teller the two persons about whom she was consulting without mentioning their names. Right away, the fortune teller's eyes widened. There may be a large gap between the ages of these two persons, but it doesn't matter. They are a match made in heaven. I have rarely seen such a couple whose fortunes are so aligned. Mrs. O felt her heart was about to explode. She calmed herself and went directly to the church to meet our teacher and tell him everything. As soon as she gained a private space with him, she blurted it out. Hak Jahan, the daughter of Hong Son-e, is the heavenly bride. She waited for a response, but Father Moon didn't say a word. Father Moon had listened to many members suggest who might be his bride, and none of them had paid much attention to me. I did not worry about that. I kept my mind on heaven. I knew then and know now that a person's destiny is not contingent upon external evidence. God is the judge, and it is predestined that the only begotten Son will marry the only begotten daughter prepared by God, and that this is in the hands of God. I knew it was Father Moon's mission and duty to recognize the only begotten daughter. I may have been young in years, but my heart towards God was unwavering. I waited for the time. One day, not long after that, hearing the sound of a magpie setting on the branch of a tree outside the window of my dormitory room, I had a premonition that I was about to receive good news. I went to the window, opened it, looked up towards the sky, and I heard God's voice. Those were days in which God was giving me revelations, not only in my dreams, but also like waves coming down from the clear blue sky. I heard the words, "The time is near." It was the voice of God. I had heard it often since I was a child. I had always felt that I would meet a very precious person one day, as if someone were pushing me. I closed my books and left the dormitory. Something was telling me that my mother was not feeling well. As I was crossing the Han River on the bus, many thoughts flooded my mind. Does crossing the river mean that I am crossing over to a different world from the one in which I have been living? How many stories are embraced by the river, swirling beneath its confidently flowing surface? Is the heart of God who is searching for us like this river? I got off the bus and started walking up to the Noryangjin Hill towards my house. As I climbed the slope, an unusually bright winter sun drew me onward, in spite of the wind from the Han River blowing against my forehead. When my mother saw me, she did not seem at all unwell. She looked rather excited and gratified to see me arrive. My confusion as to what drew me home dissipated right away. As she held the door open and quickly put on her coat, "I have received a message from the church," she told me. "We have to go there right away, right now." Adieu.
True. Thank you so much, Ate Judy, for the clear reading. To share her gratitude points, may I call one of the blessed families in Cebu, Mrs. Marlene Barillier.
Hello, good morning everyone. First and foremost, good morning Heavenly Parents and true parents. And to our national leader, to all Chonbo families, blessed families, and brothers and sisters, good morning. This morning, I would like to share my 10 points of gratitude. Number 1, I'm so grateful to our Heavenly Parents and true parents for giving this new day, new life, and opportunity to practice His words. Number 2, I'm so grateful to our national leader for initiating this morning devotion in our spiritual food and internal guidance in our everyday life. Number 3, I'm so grateful to my ancestors for their great foundation so that I can meet true parents and understand the true heart of God. Number 4, I'm so grateful and thankful to my loving husband for being good to our family and for working hard to sustain our family needs. Number 5, I'm so grateful and thankful to my physical family, brothers and sisters, because they are comforting us during the time when we are down. Number 6, I'm so grateful to Heavenly Parents and true parents for the blessing that we receive together with my husband and having a family. Number 7, I'm so grateful and every situation happened to my family, it helped us to learn more to do our responsibility. Number 8, I'm so grateful all the foundation that we've been laying and experiencing before that it helped us to be strong to fight whatever happened. Number 9, I'm so grateful for Heavenly Parents and True Parents for the principle that we've learned. It really helped us to understand deeply the purpose of life and family. Last, number 10, I'm so grateful to my son, Junki. Even though he went to the spiritual world, but he left many memories that can remind and inspire us. Even he is very young, but I know how he is important in the spiritual world. A lot of mission he can do. Good morning once again. Thank you and God bless.
Thank you so Thank you so much, Mrs. Marlene, for sharing your 10 points of gratitude. Indeed, there are so many things that we need to give thanks to Heavenly Parents and True Parents. At this juncture, for the offering performance, let us welcome the multi-talented full-time of Bohol Center for their offering dance, Arirang. Let's give them a hand of
부모님 감사합니다. 사랑합니다. 그립습니다.
Wow, what a mesmerizing performance. Thank you, Bohol, for making our morning lively. And now, with no more delays, I know you wanted to hear the words of our true parents. Let us all welcome our inspiring father figure here in the Philippines, our national leader, Reverend Dr. Leo Angelo T. Leo Angelo T. Halog. Sorry for that. Let's give him a round of applause.
Thank you very much, our sister Jade, our MC for this morning. First, I would like to greet our Heavenly Parents and True Parents. Good morning, our beloved Heavenly Parents and True Parents. To all our beloved leaders, Chanbu families, blessed families, beloved brothers and sisters, good morning to all of you. Magandang umaga po. Welcome once again to our National Morning Devotion. I would like to express my gratitude to our Region 7 family for hosting today's morning devotion. And thank you very much for that very inspiring and wonderful performance from our brothers and sisters from Bohol. And thank you for that really very beautiful performance this morning. Also, I would like to thank our elder sister, our Ate Marlene Atelier, for her 10 points of gratitude. Yeah, so despite difficulties, still filled with so much gratitude. Really, our Heavenly Parent and True Parents is truly great and amazing. And so today is 29th of October. So after 2 days, we are going to welcome new month of November. Yeah, so really time flies so fast. We're going to end soon this year of 2021. We are hoping also that soon our regional president could come to the Philippines. And the situation now is becoming better in many countries. So I hope also in the Philippines will become more open and our regional president could get his visa coming here. And we hope that in this year, our regional president also could come to our country. So let's really pray for that. And so once again, thank you for joining. Today is the 36th day. I'm going to continue sharing about filial piety. And this morning, I will share this topic entitled The Life of a True Patriot and a Filial Child. Okay, so let's study True Parents' words. True Father said, "You must become families who can settle at the position of high noon. You must become families who can settle at the position of high noon, where no shadow is cast. The Garden of Eden was a place of true love, without any shadows. In love, there are no shadows. That is why everything in the world wants to come and be in that place. In the position of high noon, no one asserts his or herself. It is the place of absolute faith, absolute love, and absolute obedience. There is no assertion of self. This is what happens to everyone in the presence of true love. Adam's family must be established as a family without shadows. Then from it will emerge Adam's tribe, Adam's people, Adam's nation, and Adam's world." So today, Father is reminding us to live a life without shadows. Father declared that now we are in the time of high noon. So Father is reminding us that our families should settle and really stand in the position of high noon, where no shadows is cast, meaning living a life of absolute purity and living a life of absolute faith, absolute love, and absolute obedience. So Father is saying here that we need to become families that can settle and stand in the position of high noon, where no shadows is cast. So the Garden of Eden was a place of true love without any shadows. So in love, there are no shadows. That is why everything in the world wants to come and be in that place. So what can really make us, live a life without shadows? So Father is saying that centering on true love, without self, living a selfless life, without thinking of oneself. Father is saying here that in the position of high noon, no one asserts his or herself, meaning really complete, selfless life without thinking about oneself. No selfishness. Really like kingdom of heaven, that what Father is talking about, right? In kingdom of heaven, all people only think of others, absolutely first. Really, as they live for others, then others also live for them. This is really, a kingdom of heaven. So this is what Father is saying about high noon, no self-assertion, only thinking of others and living for others. So really living, centering on true love. So Father said it is the place of absolute faith, absolute love, and absolute obedience. There is no assertion of self. So this is what happens to everyone in the presence of true love. So if all people can really live centering on true love, then this world will become just, like naturally become kingdom of heaven. Everyone is thinking of others first, right? So Adam's family must be established as a family without shadows. So originally, Adam and Eve, their family, if only they could keep the commandment, right? They keep their purity and then they wait for God to bless them. Then they were going to build that family without shadows. And then from there, it will emerge then Adam's tribe, right? And then Adam's people, Adam's nation, Adam's world, centering on the family of Adam and Eve. Then kingdom of heaven naturally will come about if Adam and Eve absolutely kept the commandment from our heavenly parent, right? So today, Father is reminding us that our families should settle and really stand in the position of high noon without shadows cast, right? We are representatives of true parents, our families. We are not ordinary families. We are blessed families, right? We are Chombo families. We represent true parents. That's why we have to always remember, I am representative of true father. Your wife representative of true mother. Our family represents true parents' family. So we have to really live, try our best every day, right? Striving to be able to really live like our beloved true parents as the representative, really making our own families. Not only living for our own family, but really, becoming a model of showing really how to live a life of true love, sacrificing for others. Father said, there must be a place of Sabbath. So there must be a place of Sabbath without shadows where God can come and freely settle anytime He likes, day or night. Establishing such a place is God's ideal of creation. Therefore, the reason we live as we do, seeking that place, is to attend God as our eternal Father, from the individual level all the way up, even in the heavenly world, and to become families of filial sons and daughters, patriotic men and women, saintly couples, and divine sons and daughters. Through such families, God can freely travel anywhere He wants. So really, God should have a place of, Sabbath. And then actually, it should be our families. So we have to really build such a family where God can freely come anytime He wants, right? So our family should be really a place where, God can come anytime He wanted, right? So there must be a place of Sabbath without shadows where God can come and freely settle anytime He likes, day or night. So we need to make such a families, right? So establishing such a place is God's ideal of creation. So Father said that's why we have to really, attend God as our eternal Father, from the individual level all the way up, even in the heavenly world, and to become families of filial sons and daughters, patriotic men and women, saintly couples, and become divine sons and daughters. So through such families, God can freely travel anywhere He wants. So as Blessed Central families, as Chonbo families, people who really knows, Heavenly Parent, true parents, living with the principle in our life. So we need to make our families a family where God can come anytime He wanted, whether day or night, right? Anytime God wants to settle, then He can settle in our families. So this is the family that we call, Blessed Central families, right? Heavenly families, where Heavenly Parent can settle anytime. So our families doesn't only belong to us. This should be a place where God can come, where we can, freely experience Heavenly Parent and can really be with us, completely. Aju, so this is the family that Heavenly Parents wanted. Father said, the place of settlement at high noon must come. So the kingdom of heaven on earth and the kingdom of heaven in heaven will be realized when the world without any shadows is connected to heaven and earth. This world is where God can travel freely back and forth visit anyone from the youngest family to countless generations of our ancestors, all at once, and reach heaven and earth in all four directions as he pleases. That is why the place of settlement at high noon, where no shadow is cast, must come. So this is not only, a hope, this is not only a theory. Heavenly Parent, Father saying here that this settlement of high noon must come. So meaning, because true parents already is there. They have already accomplished, the family, or the mission that really Adam and Eve should accomplish. They have settled down, our true parents. They have built this family where no shadows is cast. So starting from true parents' family, then blessed families were born, right? And then now Chondo families were born. So we have to really settle down and really absolutely resemble true parents' family. So this settlement of high noon, where no shadows is cast, must come. So as we, multiply blessed families, we have to really spread all over the world, starting from our own families, from Chondo family, our blessed central families. We need to really become a family of high noon, where no shadows is cast. Then from us also, we're going to multiply to our tribe as heavenly tribal messiahs, right? So if each, Chondo families, blessed central families, we're going to live in such a way, and then multiply, then naturally settlement of high noon, where no shadows is cast, will be realized. This is kingdom of heaven. Aju. So Father said, the kingdom of heaven on earth and the kingdom of heaven in heaven will be realized when the world without any shadows is connected to heaven and earth. So kingdom of heaven will be realized if such families will going to multiply, families without, shadows. So really living, intact family, becoming a model husband, model wife, ideal parents, ideal children, really becoming, filial sons and daughters, and really becoming the divine sons and daughters of our heavenly parents. So such families, once we spread and multiply, naturally, kingdom of heaven will be realized. Aju, really, when we try to imagine what kind of world, how beautiful that world is. So this is what heavenly parents is longing for. This is what true mother is really, working for and sacrificing everything for this, for the kingdom of heaven to be realized, where all people can truly live in joy and in happiness. Aju? So really, we are the pioneers. We are the central families, Chanbu families. Then we will going to set the model for all people in our nation and for all people of the world. Aju? And then naturally, kingdom of heaven will be realized. So, of course, there are a lot of challenges, but, because of true parents' guidance every day, true mother directly guiding us, right? So we can realize this dream of our heavenly parent. So Father said, you are not to live a life without shadows. So you are not to live a life without shadows. Therefore, I proclaim the high noon settlement. It is a marvelous concept. For there to be no shadows, mind and body must be united, and the family must be united as a four-position foundation. If the father did something wrong, he would create a father's shadow. If the mother did something wrong, she would make a mother's shadow. If there were four members in the family and the four could not settle down, then the light would be black. No one likes the place of shadows. That is why we must achieve the high noon settlement. There shouldn't be any shadows even after we go to the next world. Oh, it's really beautiful. Father said, we are to live a life without shadows. That's why Father proclaimed this concept. This is a marvelous concept, Father said. And then, how can we live such a life without shadow? Father said, for there to be no shadows, mind and body must be united, and the family must be united as a four-position foundation. That's why the three great blessings that Heavenly Parent has given us, that was mentioned clearly also in the Bible. So first thing is always how to develop a good character. And then this good character can come about when we unite our mind and body centering in God. That's why ito yung pinakauna. That's why before we receive the blessing, we prepare. Not, of course, externally also we prepare, but most importantly, internally we need to prepare, right? Because once we are not prepared, we enter to the next stage, receiving the blessing, starting our own family. Can you imagine what will going to happen between husband and wife? What kind of relationship we're going to build? And then once we have children, what kind of relationship we're going to build? That's why it always begins. So living a life without shadows begins, Father said, starting from uniting our mind and body. And we know this is not easy, right? It really needs a lot of effort. And also, it doesn't mean we started our family already, we united completely our mind and body, centering on God. But only because of our true parents. We could be able to, advance forward. We could receive the blessing, right? It's only because of true parents. And then actually also, absolutely, we need our spouse also to help us more to really have united mind and body, right? But at least before we receive the blessing, we need to have some foundation, right? That's why we need some training. We need certain period. So to live a life without shadow, Father said, really we need to unite our mind and body. And then we need to have a united family that must be united, centering on the four-position foundation. So, in the family, we need to protect each other. That's why really understanding clearly, really true parents are teaching. Father said, if father did something wrong, he would create a father's shadow. If mother did something wrong, she would create a mother's shadow. If there were 4 members in the family and there were 4, and the 4 could not settle down, the light would be black. So if also all the children, we have 4 children, for example, in the family, and then also, we couldn't really raise them up well, we couldn't educate them well, and then, each one doing something, doing something wrong, then what happens? They couldn't settle down. The light would be black. No one likes the place of shadow. So our family cannot live, become a family of high noon. That's why in the family, we actually protect each other. Husband and wife, make sure we are fulfilling our responsibility as a husband, right? Of course, we are doing a lot of mission, but especially during this time, also need to understand that you also have another mission. You are also a father, you are also a husband, right? The same is true with the wife. So we are now living in a different time. Ibang time na po talaga ngayon. We cannot, just neglect our family. We have to really take care well of our families, right? As a husband, take care well of your wife. As a wife, take care well of your husband. As a parent, take care of your children. As also children, filial children, we have to really serve and attend well our parents. So if all members of the family fulfill well their responsibility also in the family, then your family will really become a family of high noon. We can help and protect each other, right? Then naturally, then there will be no blockage. Heavenly fortune can come to our families, right? So Father said, that is why we must achieve the high noon settlement. There shouldn't be any shadows, even after we go to the next world. Of course, now we are thinking about our tribe, our, the bigger community, our Heavenly Parents Holy Community, but really, we have to settle down our own families, right? And then based on that, when we created happiness in our family, naturally, we can just easily share that to others. But if in our family, we don't have, that relationship, then what will going to happen? Very difficult to share to others, right? That's why it's really important, really helping each other in the family. We really need to create that kind of family. Parents and children, husband and wife, really fulfilling our responsibilities well also in our own families. Aju? So Father is saying that not only actually in the physical world, even after we go to the next world. So that is why we must achieve the high noon settlement. There shouldn't be any shadows even after we go to the next world. Kasi nga, the Bible says, sabi sa Biblia, whatever you bind on earth will be bound in heaven. Right? So really, whatever you're going to bring in heaven when you go to the spiritual world, what you have in the physical world. That's why first in the physical world first. If we live a life without shadows here, then when we go to the spiritual world, then also naturally, our life has no shadow, right? That's why even though a lot of challenges and difficulties, really, Heavenly Parents have blessed us. We are blessed central families. We need to really live up to the standard that Heavenly Parents wanted. Slowly we can advance, even not easy. Let's try every day. Let's improve every day, right? That's why, it's good to write our 10 points of gratitude, or like having at the end of the day, we check ourselves, what we have done, how we live our life today. Then we can evaluate, we can check ourselves, and then every day we can advance forward, we can develop, right? And then our relationship with our spouse, our children will become, better and better every day. We become, more ideal husband, more ideal wife, ideal father, ideal mother, ideal parents, right? Also the same, our children, as many have been grown up already, right? So really, our family, we need to really make this family. Father said, you must break down the barrier if you are to have high noon settlement. God travels through the vertical line of 8 stages, from the shadow-free individual to the shadow-free family, tribe, people, nation, world, cosmos, and God. Can there be any shadow cast on God's love? It is purity itself. That is why everyone wants that purity, even in his or her flesh and blood. No one likes shadows. The shadow is Satan. This is why whenever we do wrong, we tend to cover it up. That is the enemy. That is the barrier. You must break down that barrier if you are to have the high noon settlement. I am not saying this just symbolically. It must be done. Right? Yeah, I remember President Hori's guidance the other day when we had the meeting. Also in the family, sometimes misunderstanding between husband and wife always happens when only one person is like making decision, right? So like always need to be very open, always sharing, husband and wife. Also, our family working for this, also all of us, I think, right? Always need to really be very open, husband and wife, so that we can avoid also committing mistakes, right? If husband and wife is really, and then they decide together, also we have young couples, and then those who are preparing. Actually, always it starts from here, husband and wife relationship in the Garden of Eden also, right? So really, everything begins in the husband and wife relationship. We are learning continuously. Of course, even when we start family, still a lot of things we need to learn, and continuously. Even 5 years not enough, 10 years not enough, some already 30 years together, 40 years together, still they couldn't still master that relationship. Really, it's not easy, but really centering on our Heavenly Parents' love, really centering on true love, we can overcome any situations, right? We can eliminate all barriers and really live such a life, that really shadow free. Father said here, as we strive also as individual, shadow free individual to become shadow free family, and then tribe, people, nation, and world, cosmos, and God. So centering on true love, we can overcome any situation, right? So Father said, no one likes shadows. The shadow is Satan. So this is why whenever we do wrong, we tend to cover it up. That is the enemy. That is the barrier. That's why, if we have a good relationship, good communication between husband and wife, parents and children, we can avoid this problem, right? But if we don't have really, good communication with our spouse, with our children, this is the time that, these things comes. But if we are very open and free between each other, and then with our children also, then we can overcome this situation. Right? Sometimes there are people that very difficult to share. That's why this is big problem later on when you start your own family. If you're a person that very difficult to share to others, later on also with your spouse very difficult to share what inside of you. That's why we have gone through certain training. We talk to many people through our witnessing activities, through our fundraising activities, so that later on these are very important things. Sometimes people who doesn't talk and communicate well, all problems comes in husband and wife relationship. right? If we are not open. That's why when commit some mistake, you cannot share it. You just tend to cover it up. But when we are, communicating very well, then Satan has no way to come in, right? So Father said, you must break down the barrier if you are to have the high noon settlement. I am not saying this just symbolically. It must be done. Aju? So Father said, we must fulfill our duties as true filial children, true patriots, true saints, and true divine sons and daughters. So in front of the true parents, we must fulfill our duties as true filial children, true patriots, true saints, and true divine sons and daughters. Only then can God's kingship be established. The kingship of the heavenly nation is based on expanding the authority of the sons and daughters who attend the true parents. Once the kingship is established, God will be enthroned and Satan's world will disappear. So really, we must fulfill our duties as true filial children, true patriots, true saints, and true divine sons and daughters, Father said, in front of true parents. So only then can God's kingship be established. So the kingship of the heavenly nation is based on expanding the authority of the sons and daughters who attend true parents, and then we expand. So starting from, us fulfilling our duties and responsibilities, and then we expand, right? So once the kingship is established, God will be enthroned and Satan's world will disappear. So where, saints and sages also will be coming from? Through filial sons and daughters. Actually, this should be from our own families. Actually, our children, we need to raise them up to really become, filial children, patriots, saints, and divine sons and daughters. That's why not only us, working for our growth, but now when you start your own family, you will going to have your children. Our children should really become, who will going to lead the future. Should be our children. Actually, all our desire, parents' desire is for our children to become better than us, right? Father, few days ago, Father was saying to really raise up our children very well. If we really wanted them to really become filial children, we need to become filial ourselves first, right? So if we really wanted our children to become better than us as parents now, how serious our position is as parents, right? Not only we are doing things for our own self, but for our children. If we will not live really a model life now, and then even our children do not look at us as our model, then that's a big problem, right? More than anyone, the parents should be the ideal, the model for the children. Dapat, more than idolizing, these days, because of what we can see in the social media, in the television, many young people, they have a lot of model and mga idol nila sa buhay nila, right? But we have to create a family that the father and the mother, they are the most ideal. And then they are the idol of the children. Not looking to anyone, right? But it's the father and it's the mother. If we make such a family, naturally our children, right, can grow as filial children. They can become the children that, can really stand in the future. They can become better than us. That's why really being in the position of the parent, of a parents, it's really not easy, right? But this is also a great opportunity for us. Kapag sinilang yung first child natin, we become parents. And then everything actually changed sa atin. Right? So Father is talking about, of expanding, also, authority of sons and daughters who attend through parents. Also by raising up our children, later on they will become, filial children. Also patriots, saints, and ultimately divine sons and daughters. So once the kingship is established, Father said, God will be enthroned and Satan's world will disappear. So that's why starting from us, we have to fulfill our duties as filial children, and then going down to our generations, to our children. And then it will just, being followed by our next generations. It's really, really important this time as parents. Many of us already, we are parents. We are more concerned now how we live our life, not only for ourselves, but also for our children. a Jew. So naturally, how can our children naturally follow and really become also later on the family that heavenly parent and parents wanted? So Father said here, we need to establish a new tradition with the family as its center. So from now on, we need to establish a new tradition with the family as its center, based on the tradition of those who live their lives as patriots, saints, and divine sons and daughters. For this, we need to replace the tradition that existed during the age of indemnity. This new tradition is what we will follow for eternity in the kingdom of heaven. Centering on the family, we should establish the ways of true filial sons and daughters, through husbands and wives who are faithful to each other, and through patriots, and prepare the ways of saints and divine sons and daughters. We have to prepare these ways here on earth. So, Father said that this new tradition is what we will follow for eternity in the kingdom of heaven. Minimum is family. Not the individual, as what people still believe, centering on their faith on Jesus, just individual, right? Even families now, they don't even concern to some of the members of their families, as long as they believe in Jesus. Sometimes husband and wife, they have different religion. They are not really concerned with each other, because for them, they just believe that life on earth is just here, everything will end, right? But true parents is the only one really teaching very clearly about this one. So centering on the family, this is the basic, the law in the kingdom of heaven, like centering on the family, right? So going to the kingdom of heaven as a family. That's why our spouse life is, that should be like our subject in us. Parents, their children, their parents, right? Because we need to become really completely one. As family, this is the minimum. Father said we should establish the ways of true filial sons and daughters, through husbands and wives who are faithful to each other, and through patriots, and prepare the ways of saints and divine sons and daughters. We have to prepare these ways here on earth. So starting from making this family, we have to become also patriots. We have to raise up our children to become patriots, loving their nation. Not only not to be contented with having good family, but we have to advance. We have to be concerned to our nation. We have to love our nation. We have to become patriot, right? And then we have to prepare, Father said, the ways of saints and divine sons and daughters. So we have to prepare these ways on earth. So while we are alive on earth, today when we wake up again, right? Another opportunity. We are again alive. We are given the opportunity again to do these things. That's why, in this time with our true mother now, this is now really the time to, really settle down with our own families. Because really true mother now is looking to create a heavenly community, centering on our heavenly parents, holy community, reaching out to all people. So President Hori was emphasizing about this one. So he's guiding us also our new Sunday service. There should be like two different way now, because we are not only really church, we are not church anymore now. Even we go beyond family federation now, we are heavenly parents, holy community. Now we are not emphasizing just our own faith and but how can we work together now? How can people come together? So we are not encouraging people to change their religion, right? So how can people come together and then we recognize heavenly parent, right? And then really this is community now that we are the true mother have established. Sometimes we cannot really maybe understand very clearly. Even President Hori reminded us yesterday, even us, right? But really try to understand what kind of community really heavenly parent or true mother wanted. That's why true mother opened up and then started new things like new Sunday service, peace festival, very open, welcoming all people. Our peace festival, this Sunday service is like not only for us members of Family Federation of Heavenly Parents Holy Community, but this is open to all people, right? This is what heavenly our true mother wanted this time. So we shouldn't be contented only for our families, within our family. We make our family a model, but we have to reach out to people, right? And then when people see our families, naturally they will going to come. Aju. So all these things, Heavenly Father, we have to prepare these ways on earth. So while True Mother is here, and not only setting, our family, but really how to expand and really reaching out to the world. At least minimum ang True Mother is 1/3 of the world population, right? So really now our movement is completely really different. We have to really embrace all people coming from different religions, and then we are not emphasizing anymore just our faith and belief, but how can people come recognize our heavenly parent and work together, right? And then everything will just become natural later on, that they will going to see, because there's no other movement like this in the world, only our movement, right? So they will going to see what makes our movement like this. Then they will going to really recognize later on our beloved True Mother, the only begotten daughter, the work of true parents for the world, right? Truly amazing. We are looking forward to realize really true heavenly parents holy community, really bringing all people of the world. So there are many things we have to work on, but really we are truly grateful for the guidance of our heavenly parent and true parents every day. So let's really do our best despite a lot of challenges and difficulties as a person, individually, and of course in our families. But really, this is like heaven's mandate for us. We have to really create this kind of family that really can resemble our heavenly parent, can resemble our true parents, Aju. And then from here, centering on our family as the minimum, we have to expand to our tribe, to our community, then to our nation, and then to the world. Aju, let's really march forward in complete unity with our beloved True Mother, and then for sure, any situations we can really break through and we can overcome, and we can really become the family that heavenly parents are really longing for. Aju, so let us really offer once again our gratitude to our heavenly parents and true parents. Thank you once again to all our brothers and sisters. May heavenly parents now and blessings be always upon you and your families. Let's have a great day today. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sir NL, for giving us. Okay, thank you so much, Sir NL, for giving us today's spiritual food. It is really true, brothers and sisters. Let us redetermine ourselves that no matter how big the waves that are coming in our life, let us strive every day to always resemble true parents' family, and where the place of settlement is at high noon and no shadow is cast, and where heavenly parents can come with us. So to proceed, may I call the MFT captain of Cebu, Mr. John Lord Zaratan, for his reflection.
Thank you so much, Sister Jade. And I would like to greet our Heavenly parents. Good morning, Heavenly parents. Good morning to our Reverend Dr. Leo Angelo Halog, and to all our Chumbo families, best families, brothers and sisters. Good morning po. So today is very nice also morning devotion. Even recent morning Hondoke, I learned also a lot, but until even here in our center, I also share also my reflection, my heart towards our members here, our new full-time, our young ones here during our closing time. And of course, right now, as we receive the topic of being true patriot and a filial child, but my own understanding, simple, it means I need to fulfill my portion of responsibilities. Wherever I go, I will go in my home, or I will be here in our center here in Cebu. But I should start to I need to put into action all the divine principle that I learned within myself. So I always show, even it's not easy, but I try to overcome challenges within myself to become a model to my brothers and sisters here in Cebu Center. So, especially right now as I going in the process of restoration or to connect to God's lineage, to our true parents, because right now I also receive my blessing. I have already my spouse also. I'm going to also start in the future the second blessing. So I always think that what is my preparation, that in the future if we have my own family already. So that's why what I understand about a life without shadows. My understanding that one is just like a life with conscience or strong conscience, but this conscience is also not easy to become 100%. So that's why I really need more Jongsong conditions and something vitality elements and attending every day morning devotion. So I sometimes, if I have free time, I trying to study Bible, Old Testament, New Testament, and the divine principle, because right now I was reading 3 hours exposition of the divine principle, but maybe right now I 20 times already that I read the divine principle, but it's not easy to finish 100 times. But also it's not easy also to study because sometimes I become sleepy. So, but I overcome the overcoming is still there. So yeah, and right now still I'm grateful to Heavenly Parents, to parents, because they give me the chance to, they educate me, they guide me, they teach me this kind of education and divine principle that through this I can receive also the blessing from Heavenly Parents and true parents, so, which is my spouse right now. So that's why right now I really realize that in the 4 years, I'm 4 years already in the movement spiritually. Till right now, I did not yet forget all my spiritual parents who invite me here. Then, yeah, so little by little, I also become matured also. So because before, many also problems within myself, because yeah, when I am growing also, I don't have something, my parents did not give a lot of time to really guide me and educate me. So that's why right now, as I understand the principle, I wanted to grab this opportunity that in the future I have my own children already. I will give all my energy and my best, no, to really guide and educate also my children, because di ko gusto na maging kagaya sila sa akin dati, kung ano yung experiences ko while I'm galing hanggang yung bata pa ako hanggang ngayon na medyo may edad na. So most important lang is if for me, I need to fulfill my portion of responsibility, the 5%. So it's very important. And then, maliit lang yung 5% na sinabi sa divine principle na tayo, mga tao, may responsibilidad. Pero kung tutuusin, kung gagawin natin yung 5%, hindi rin siya madali. So, napakalaking bagay siya. Kaya, so, hindi pa rin nawala. I did not forget those trainings when I was there in NLTP for my 2.5 years that I was there. I give my time there. So I'm so much grateful and thankful still right now to God and true parents, and to my leader there, Sir Francis Lawrence Nolasco. I did not forget. Until right now, I always bring the training. I can always stand even I'm alone. Every day still I go there in the front line because I have something goal also for my blessing process. So even last 3 days ago, I was already get vaccinated already, but after I get vaccinated, I feel like heavy in my left arm, and I feel something sickness. My body become weak, but still my life and death determination, I have still my purpose also. So that's why even I feel not good, but still I go there in the front line. But just only yesterday I take a rest because last 2 days ago I was some brother massage me to something. So that's why right now I feel good. So and now we have MFT whole day with my younger brothers and sisters here in Cebu. I hope that all of us will become victorious for this day and also for tomorrow. So thank you so much, and maybe that's all. That's all my reflection.
Thank you so much, Kuya John Lord, for sharing your reflection. Next to have his reflection, I call the second generation from Negros Oriental, Kinsel Katubig. Let's give him a round of applause. Okay, since he is not around, he is not in the Zoom. Is there anyone from the Zoom who wants to share his or her reflection?
Mr. Manabat, erase up your telephone.
Hello?
To show the hands here in the phone. Okay.
Oh, okay. Okay po. You may start na po.
Good morning.
Okay, you don't put it.
Hello, good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes po. Good morning.
Like this.
So, why am I like this? I hear the topic is very our national leader emphasized about high noon settlement. Yeah, with no shadow. And then when he is talking about this, I remember the opportunity that I attended 120 days seminars 2010 to 2011, third batch of 120 days. And I learned so many things every day. Every day we are reading God's words. Every day we are reading God's words. Yeah, I realized that my heart and also my character is like recreating to become good person and to become an ideal person. So I'm so inspired during 120 days, and then I feel that I feel only God, and when we are created by God's words, we can only feel the heart of God, the will of God, how to really accomplish God's will. And then during our 120 days, I experienced, we have a 1 week fundraising. And then I had the opportunity to lead members from Taiwan, 4 members. So during the time, my area is Campo Crame, police area, police camp. But because these 4 Chinese, they maybe if I bring them to Campo Crame, maybe it's not so good. So I denied my I denied my area. I went I bring them to Chinatown, and then I observed these four members from Taiwan. They are so serious in their mission. Every time I said that 3 o'clock we will meet together in one place. If 3 o'clock already come, and then if the one person not yet arrived, they did not stop approaching people. Yeah, they did not stop. Even, and then they will only stop when we already complete. That's why I observed the Taiwanese is very serious. Even seconds, they don't like to stop. Really. That's why Taiwan become also a prosperous nation. So after the 1 week fundraising, they have a very good result because we are really united, and they're so serious. Like the spirit world is really very serious to help them. So and then they're very humble also. So I feel that my mind is only like very vertical, no, like high noon settlement. And then before the end of our 120 days, 1 month or 40 days before the end of our 120 days, Dr. Yong said that all participants of 120 days will go to Mindanao for preparation for interfaith blessing. So really, my mind is only thinking also how to make this interfaith blessing victorious. So this is the nature of the High Noon settlement. Only thinking about God's will. No? And then I observed that in Mindanao, because we do so many conditions, really every day we give a lecture of the divine principle. Really like no shadow, like Satan cannot really invade even seconds. No? Yeah. So 24 hours a day, I'm thinking about how to become victorious in our IPBF in Mindanao. So every day I experience giving lecture three times. No, morning, lunch, and afternoon. Muslim, Christian. Really, that's why 120 days is really very effective. I really encourage that we need to really continue to have 120 days workshop in the Philippines. This is the way, this is really the proper how to really establish High Noon, become a great leaders in the Philippines. Yeah, and because of that, because of this 120 days, we can really bring victory in Mindanao. And then Bacolod, Iloilo, Araneta, this is the foundation. Raising up members to become really high noon, to have high noon, really, wherein there's no shadow at all. Yeah. So during the time, I feel really 100% God, 24 hours a day. No, this 120 days worship. So once again, thank you very much for this great message that our national leader have given to each one of us. Good morning. May God bless all of us. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sir Wency, for that wonderful reflection. So to proceed, is there any announcement from the headquarters?
Good morning to all our leaders, brothers and sisters. We would like to remind everyone about the Yojong offering. The purpose of this donation is the offering to our beloved True Mother and to support the launching of the Pacific Christian Leadership Conference. This is all for blessed families and members in Heavenly Asia Pacific too. For the donation amount, for blessed families, at least 2,100, and for individual or single members, at least 700 pesos. You can send your donation until November 30, 2021. This is the list of those who have already made their donations. You can send your precious donation to the following bank account. For peso donation, you can send it to our PNB peso account. Yeah, you can screenshot the account, and for dollar donation, you can send it to our BPI dollar account. That's all. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for the announcements. To close our morning devotion, may I call Mr. Boomshin Karale, Negros Oriental District Leader of Second Generation. Is he here po? Kuya Boomshin? Okay. Okay po.
I'm sorry,
Hello.
we cannot hear anything.
Excuse me po. Naka-mute po kayo? Wala po kaming naririnig po.
We can hear you now.
Meron na to.
Please, please.
Okay na po, ate.
Yes po.
Okay. Please join me in prayer. Good morning, brothers and sisters. Good morning. Good morning, Heavenly Parents and True Parents. We are all here today at our beloved and humble quarters and homes. Gathered as one family, we humbly implore you to grant our special graces into our family. May our home be the shrine of peace, purity, and love, and labor and faith. Dear Heavenly Parents, we pray for our protection and bless us, all of us, absent and present, living, and even those who are already in the spiritual world. And to our family, and even all of the families all over the world, to guard and guide us always. Your love us unconditionally and give to us love for you that you have bonded with us, and you give us the gift of loving and giving the step each day for helping us walk into the right path. Thank you for continually surprise us with your blessings, and for that we are very thankful. Though we are imperfect, we know that you love and can transform us and help us, our family, to become what you imagine us to be. For us to be your image and likeness. So come be with us, Heavenly Father and true parents, in order for us to inspire more hearts and lead others at our time. And I would like to humbly report this prayer in your parents' name. In my name, Bumshin Carlos, and of John Emily, and Travis family. Adieu.
Jew. Let's have our unison prayer. Jew. So, good morning, Heavenly Parents and true parents. Good morning, brothers. Good morning, elders, leaders, brothers and sisters. You may unmute your microphones na po and greet everyone.
Thank you.
Good morning,
Bye
everyone.
po.
Thank
Morning
you.
po.
Morning.
Ayong buntag.
Morning, everyone.
Morning.
Bye-bye.
Yung Maximo. Yes, good morning. Morning po.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Bye-bye.
Good morning. See you
Good morning,
tomorrow.
Cesar.
Good morning to everyone.
Good morning, Kuya Julie.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Good morning, Annabelle. Good morning, Kuya Roy.
And good morning.
Good morning,
Morning.